All righty, here we are, entirely too close to the old camera. Let me try. Well, that's better than nothing. I'm not quite sure what I have done with my camera. Okay, that's not important. That's not why you're here. Strange voice number one. Greetings, salutations, welcome one and welcome all to the one, the only Junk Shop Library channel, home of Improv Bible Study, the atheist Bible study where we read every word, yes, every word, yes, oh my stars and garters, every last word of the King James Version of 1611, because it's the one in the public domain, and then proceed to rip at the new asshole it so desperately deserves from a modern atheist humanist standpoint. It's just coffee. You can get your The Smiters mug and various other Improv Bible Study merchandise at the Teespring link in the description below. See how smooth that was? Wasn't that awesome? Mark Caesar, be proud. Mark Caesar's here. Mark Caesar, aren't you proud? Before we do anything else, we gotta get uncomfortably close to the camera yet again, so I can change my banner. Because I gotta shut the hell up, phone. Nobody needs to hear from you right now. Now, got real fucking southern there for a second. Okay. Gotta point out that this show and the many multitudinous and varied others we produce on this channel would not be possible without the support on patreon.com/junkshoplibrary. So close. I'll get the hang of that one of these days. Of my wonderful, fantastic, fantabulous, glorious, and very kind and generous patrons, whose names you now see scrolling at the bottom of the screen. These are the folks who have found it in their hearts, and more importantly, in these trying times, perhaps in their wallets, to chip in for as little as $1 a month to keep the library streaming in the quality you've come to expect, at the frequency you've come to expect it, and with so much less junk shopping these days. Do both, and that is due to the new computer. I love you so much. Which was brought to us not only by Patreon support, but by the contributions of a couple of anonymous benefactors who wish to remain anonymous in their benefactory status. And their wishes will be respected. In especial and particular, I do have to shout out my top 2 tiers worth of patrons. My illuminated manuscript Captain Kimothy, and my genuine calfskin level patrons Bill, and very first patron, the one and only Mr. Paul Kamish, the infamous atheist activist. These folks really and truly have gone above and beyond in their support of the channel. It makes a tremendous difference, and I thank you from the bottom of my wizened little heart, my cold little unemployed little heart. Thank you. It really does make an enormous difference. All right, the chat. The chat is hopping today. So many people. I love it. I love to see everybody there. All righty. I see some folks dropping links in the chat. Whilst links are being dropped in the chat, can someone please make sure and drop a link to Godless Granny's video that's going to be coming out not too very long after we wrap things up here, if memory serves. Godless Granny's going to be taking on Reverend Fritz. And as my mama once told me, since I ain't got nothing nice to say about Mr. Fritz, old Junk Shop gonna keep his big bazoo shut. 3:30 Central. Okay, thank you very much. Well, we should be wrapping up here around 3. We don't usually run past the hour. All right, well, I see my glasses where I remember them being. I got my coffee right here in front of me. I still can't figure out what's going on with my camera angle, and I'm not going to troubleshoot it on the fly, as long as y'all can see my beauteous visage and hear the melodious sounds of my voice. Here we go. Jeremiah, of which we are now in the 36th out of... Come on, Jerry. Wrap this shit up. Sweet Moses McGillicuddy. 52. Chapter 36. So more than halfway there, at the very least. I used the wrong pronoun of myself. I have been known to do that. I just came out as non-binary in March, and I'm still adjusting my own inner vocabulary and external presentation. Does this book ever end? Says Fran. No. No, it's eternal. It's like that bit in Marco Polo Sings a Solo where the guy keeps running around to the other side of the house and building on a new addition every time his wife tries to leave, so that every time she gets to what should be the back door that she's going to slam out of, she slams out of it and into a brand new room that's never been there before. That's what this book is like. And if you haven't read the stage play Marco Polo Sings a Solo, I highly recommend it. It's hysterical. Difficult to find these days, but hysterical. Scripture. Scripture. 36. And it came to pass in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that this word came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Take thee a roll of a book, and write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel, and against Judah, and against all nations, from the day I spake unto thee, from the days of Josiah, even unto this day. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I purpose to do unto them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. Then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the Lord, which he had spoken unto him, upon a roll of a book. And Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am shut up. I cannot go into the house of the Lord. Therefore, go thou and read in the roll, which thou hast written from my mouth, the words of the Lord in the ears of the people in the Lord's house upon the fasting day. And also thou shalt read them in the ears of all Judah that come out of their cities. It may be that they will present their supplication before the Lord, and will return every one from his evil way. For great is the anger and the fury that the Lord hath pronounced against this people. And Baruch the son of Neriah did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, reading in the book the words of the Lord in the Lord's house. And it came to pass in the 5th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, in the 9th month, that they proclaimed a fast before the Lord to all the people in Jerusalem, and to all the people that came from the cities of Judah unto Jerusalem. Then read Baruch in the book the words of Jeremiah in the house of the Lord, in the chamber of Gemariah the son of Shaphan the scribe, in the higher court, at the entry of the new gate of the Lord's house, in the ears of all the people. When Micaiah the son of Gemariah the son of Shaphan had heard out of the book all the words of the Lord, then he went down into the king's house, into the scribe's chamber, and lo, all the princes sat there, even Elishama the scribe, and Delaiah the son of Shemaiah, and Elnathan the son of Achbor, and Gemariah the son of Shaphan, and Zedekiah the son of Hananiah, and all the princes. And then Micaiah declared unto them all the words that he had heard, which Baruch read the book in the ears of the people. Therefore all the princes sent Jehudi the son of Nethaniah the son of Shelemiah the son of Cushi unto Baruch, saying, Take in thine hand the roll wherein thou hast read in the ears of the people, and come. So Baruch the son of Neriah took the roll in his hand, and came unto them. And they said unto him, Sit down now, and read it in our ears. So Baruch read it in their ears. Now it came to pass, when they had heard all the words, they were afraid, both one and another, and said unto Baruch, We will surely tell the king of all these words. And they asked Baruch, saying, Tell us now, how didst thou write all these words at his mouth? Then Baruch answered them, He pronounced all these words unto me with his mouth, and I wrote them with ink in the book. Then said the princes unto Baruch, Go, hide ye, thou and Jeremiah, and let no man know where ye be. And they went into the king, into the court, but they laid up the roll in the chamber of Elishama the scribe, and told all the words in the ears of the king. So the king sent Jehudi to fetch the roll, and he took it out of Elishama the scribe's chamber, and Jehudi read it in the ears of the king, and in the ears of all the princes which stood beside the king. Now the king was in the winter house in the 9th month, and there was a fire on the hearth burning before him. And it came to pass that when Jehudi had read 3 or 4 leaves, he cut it with the penknife, and cast it into the fire that was in the hearth, until all the roll was consumed in the fire that was on the hearth. Yet they were not afraid, nor rent their garments, neither the king, nor any of his servants that heard all these words. Nevertheless, Elnathan and Delaiah and Gemariah had made intercession to the king that he would not burn the roll, but he would not hear them. But the king commanded Jerahmeel the son of Hamelech, and Seraiah the son of Azriel, and Shelemiah the son of Abdiel, to take Baruch the scribe and Jeremiah the prophet. But the Lord hid them. Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah after the king had burnt the roll, and the words which Baruch wrote at the mouth of Jeremiah, saying, Take thee again another roll, and write in it all the former words that were in the first roll, which Jehoiakim the king of Judah hath burned. And thou shalt say to Jehoiakim king of Judah, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast burned this roll, saying, Why hast thou written therein, saying, The king of Babylon shall surely come and destroy this land, and shall cause to cease from thence man and beast. Therefore thus saith the Lord of Jehoiakim king of Judah, He shall have none to sit upon the throne of David. and his dead body shall be cast out in the day to the heat, and in the night to the frost. And I will punish him and his seed and his servants for their iniquity. And I will bring upon them and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem and upon the men of Judah all the evil that I have pronounced against them. But they hearkened not. Then took Jeremiah another roll and gave it to Baruch the scribe, the son of Neriah, who wrote therein from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the book which Jehoiakim king of Judah had burned in the fire. And there were added besides unto them many like words. And there we have chapter 36. So, let it not be said that the book of the Lord is wanting at times in humor. It's almost entirely wanting in morality, but it is not wanting always in humor. So for all these years gone by, Jeremiah's been walking up and down in the city, going to and fro in the land, going up to the help me, what's God's house called? Build me an house, he said unto Solomon. The temple, thank you. This is the expertise and the Bible learning y'all come to expect from old Junk Shop. And it just hadn't taken. And God sees that it just hadn't taken. So God says, all right, Jeremiah, I bet I know what the problem is. It's not that you're a young upstart prophet and they're not listening. It's not that they've already got 6 squillion other prophets that are prophesying the exact opposite of what I'm telling you to say. It's not that the king is just an old, set in his ways idolater. It's not that people just don't want to change the way they're doing things. And it's not that they've 100% entire lost faith in my word, because we know that they are listening to the other prophets who are claiming to speak in my name. The problem is, it ain't wrote down in no magic book. So, Jeremiah, it is time. I have not prepared a task like unto this for one of my prophets since the days of Ezra. And y'all thought I wasn't paying attention. I want you to get you a big-ass, giant, fuck-off, great scroll. And I want you to write down everything that I've been sending you up and down the land to preach and to prophesy for the last ever how many years since the whole thing started with the north-facing cook pot. Jeremiah says, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. I'll do what you say. Oh Lord God of heaven and earth and dragons and plagues and shit. So he goes off and he recruits Baruch. He says, Baruch, I got me a little the problem? Baruch, I'm supposed to write a book of the word of the Lord. Only got one slight little problem. Oh, Jerry, Jerry can't write. I got you covered, boss man, says Baruch. I can take dictation. So you just prophesy unto me, and I will write it all down for you. And so they do. And Jeremiah is all ready to take this to the king and proclaim the word of the Lord to him direct to his face, and then he remembers he's in prison. In the outer prison, the court of the prison, but still, he's in prison. So, says Baruch, he says, I got one more errand for you. I need you to take this book of doom and curses, what we've just scribbled down here together. I need you to take it up to the temple and read it to the priests. And Baruch says, all right, what's the worst that could happen? So he takes the thing up to the temple, reads it to the priest. And the priests get all stressed out. Understandably so. I mean, it's exactly the same things that crazy young Jerry has been preaching at them for the last however many years. But now, it's in the form of a book, which means it must be true. Right? Isn't that the philosophy? So, so they say, well, we got to do something. We gotta, I tell you what, we're just the prophets and the priests and the ones who communicate specific and direct with God. But we got no real power outside of the killing of animals and collecting of offerings. I'm only an elected official. I cannot make decisions by myself. So, they take Baruch and go down to where the princes of Jerusalem are hanging out. And they say, all right, Baruch, read it again. So Baruch reads it again. And the princes kind of look at each other. They look out the window. They count the tiles on the ceiling. We're gonna have to tell our king, aren't we? We gotta tell the king. King ain't gonna like this shit. All right, here's the thing. Hey, Baruch. How did this prophetic word come to be? He says, oh, you know, crazy young Jerry, the prophet. He told me what to write down, and I wrote it down because he doesn't have book learning. I say, okay. Well, we strongly suspect this is going to split sideways, and y'all are going to be right in the line of fire. So you, Baruch, and young Mr. Jeremiah, the underwear barrier in the desert, y'all need to go hide. And hide good. And we'll keep this scroll safe somewhere. And they secret the scroll in somebody's bedchamber. And they gather up. They gather up all together. And off they go. And they seek an audience with Zedekiah, the king of Jerusalem. And when Zedekiah finds that all his princes and mighty men have come before him with an issue, he grants them an audience. What do you want, princes? He says. The princes say, there's been a prophetic word, a lengthy one. So lengthy, in fact, that it's been wrote down in a book. Okay, well, you gonna wait till I die of suspense or old age or what? Says Zedekiah. Somebody go get the fucking book and read it to me. So off they go. Not real happy. And they unearth the new prophetic word received from Jeremiah at the hand of Baruch, the writing downer of stuff. It's okay, we got... We really got to read to you. Read me the fucking prophetic word, says Zedekiah. Okay, say the princes. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin. And they commenced to read the documentation of all the prophecy that Jeremiah has prophesied. After a couple of chapters, King says, all right, that'll do. Give me that. So they give him that. He holds it up. He looks at it in the firelight. There's quite a bit of this left to go, ain't there, he says. How many chapters in this fucking thing? 52, Your Majesty. 52, really? Well, I'll be goddamn. All right. Keep reading, motherfucker. Well, this process goes on for some time. Until, once they've read the whole damn thing's in the fire. And Zedekiah, king of Israel and the Jews, turns to his princes and prophets and priests and says, "Who did you say you get this shit from that preaches such doom and destruction to me and my seed after me?" Baruch wrote it down and brought it to us. Jeremiah told Baruch to write it down. They're the ones you want. Zedekiah sends some of his people to gather up Mr. Baruch and Mr. Jeremiah and bring them to him in his room where their prophecy is currently reducing itself slowly to ash in the fire on the hearth. Can't fucking find him. How? We don't know. Baruch, presumably, has a couple of options as to where he could hide. Jeremiah, still shut up in the court of the prison. And there we have chapter 36. $37. And King Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, reigned instead of Coniah, the son of Jehoiakim, whom Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, made king in the land of Judah. But neither he, nor his servants, nor the people of the land did hearken unto the words of the Lord, which he spake by the prophet Jeremiah. And Zedekiah the king sent Jehukal, the son of Shelemiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah, the priest, to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Pray now unto the Lord our God for us. Now Jeremiah came in and went out among the people, for they had not put him into prison. Then Pharaoh's army was come forth out of Egypt, and when the Chaldeans that besieged Jerusalem heard tidings of them, they departed from Jerusalem. Then came the word of the Lord unto the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Thus shall ye say to the king of Judah, that sent you unto me to inquire of me, Behold, Pharaoh's army, which is come forth to help you, shall return to Egypt into their own land. And the Chaldeans shall come again, and fight against this city, and take it, and burn it with fire. Thus saith the Lord, Deceive not yourselves, saying, The Chaldeans shall surely depart from us, for they shall not depart. For though ye had smitten the whole army of the Chaldeans that fight against you, and there remained but wounded men among them, yet should they rise up, every man in his tent, and burn this city with fire. And it came to pass that when the army of the Chaldeans was broken up from Jerusalem for fear of Pharaoh's army, then Jeremiah went forth out of Jerusalem to go into the land of Benjamin, to separate himself thence in the midst of the people. And when he was in the gate of Benjamin, a captain of the ward was there, whose name was Erijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah, and he took Jeremiah the prophet, saying, Thou fallest away to the Chaldeans. Then said Jeremiah, It is false, I fall not away to the Chaldeans. But he hearkened not to him. So Erijah took Jeremiah and brought him to the princes. Wherefore the princes were wroth with Jeremiah, and smote him, and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah was entered into the dungeon and into the cabins, and Jeremiah had remained there many days, then Zedekiah the king sent, and took him out. And the king asked him secretly in his house, and said, Is there any word from the Lord? And Jeremiah said, There is. For, said he, Thou shalt be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon. Moreover, Jeremiah said unto King Zedekiah, What have I offended against thee, or against thy servants, or against this people, that ye have put me in prison? Where are now your prophets which prophesied unto you, saying, The king of Babylon shall not come against you, nor against this land? Therefore hear now, I pray thee, O my lord the king, let my supplication, I pray thee, be accepted before thee, that thou cause me not to return to the house of Jonathan the scribe, lest I die there. Then Zedekiah the king commanded that they should commit Jeremiah into the court of the prison, and that they should give him daily a piece of bread out of the baker's street, until all the bread in the city were spent. Thus Jeremiah remained in the court of the prison. And there we have 37. Jeremiah gets tired of Jerusalem. I'd get tired of Jerusalem too. The way life has been treating him in Jerusalem. So one day he decides to go sneaking out. He's going to go up to the land of Benjamin and live there. Still in the promised land, but not right in the city where the Chaldeans are encamped against them. And then we have this weird bluffing game. The Chaldeans and the Babylonians have been set up sieging Jerusalem for how fucking long has it been now? God damn. I thought they were a mighty empire. They have like sieging capabilities. You'd have thought they'd have breached the fucking wall by now. They planning just to try to starve them out entire. The city's essentially nothing but storehouses and armories. And God's house. Anyway, for no readily discernible reason, Pharaoh, from way the hell over in Egypt, decides he's going to march on Jerusalem. Apparently marching on Jerusalem is the hot new thing this season. All the cool kids are doing it. Selfie at the gates of Jerusalem. And when the Chaldean army hears that the Egyptian army is coming, they run away. Or start to. Anyway, this weird will they, won't they besiege and bestarve and attack and runaway business with the armies happens round about the time that Jeremiah is tired of being up in Jerusalem. He's leaving through the gate of the court of Benjamin. He gets stopped there by somebody who buttonholes him and says, You must be running off with the motherfucking Chaldeans. I see them leaving, and I see you leaving, and I can put two and two together. I was born at night, but it weren't last night, motherfucker. Jeremiah says, I am not going... Why the... Fucking look at me. I am a penniless prophet of the Lord, best known for burying linen underwear in the desert and laboriously writing out a book that the king set on fire. What would the Chaldeans want with me? They don't care. They take him inside the city and they lock him up in impromptu prison that has been made out of the house of poor Jonathan the scribe under some kind of weird eminent domain. Well, after a while, despite the fact that he's got nothing but curses and bad news from the prophet Jeremiah, old Zedekiah the king gets lonely. He needs him his word of the Lord fix. So he seeks out Jeremiah in secret. They go all creepsy and tricksy back to the palace in the dead of night. The king says, Jerry, is there any word? Is there any word from the Lord? Jeremiah says, well, it's other than your ass gonna die and leave no descendants? No. I already told you that. Tell you what, while I'm giving you such good news and I'm in your good graces, let me prevail upon your drunk ass. Could you not send me back to prison? Because they're not feeding me and I'm afraid I'm going to die. King says, okay, tell you what. We'll put you on bread and water diet for the rest of your life in the court of the prison where you were before, where you had all that leisure time to write that book that I tore up and burned in the fire on the hearth. Does that work for you? Cool. You know what else would be cool? If we had better words from the Lord. It's just coffee. And that's the end of the chapter. We've been going 44 minutes. And the next chapter is chapter 38, and we ain't got time to do it. Hope to see all y'all over on Godless Granny's channel here in a bit. Those of you who have the stomach for some fairly extreme biblical literalist teachings from a loathsome little homophobe, Mr. Fritz. Hope you had a good time with us here today. I know I went a little more into the rambly improv comedy than I normally do, but I was kind of on a roll and couldn't make myself stop. I was stuck. But a lot of y'all actually still here, it looks like. Thank you so much for remaining. Today being Friday, if you're watching here with us live or in the next, 12 hours, 24 hours or so, we will have An Atheist Reads the Book of Mormon at 6:30 Eastern tomorrow evening. That's proven to be just absolutely delicious fun when it's not so painfully boring it makes you want to bang your head against rocks until you see giraffes. But either way, thank y'all for coming. Thank you each and every one for your contributions and your support. Extra special thanks to my fantastic patrons without whom none of this would be possible to begin with. And as we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care. Everybody be safe. Stand against hate. And we will see y'all again soon.